So a lot of people in the UAE, especially the Gulf region, a lot of them are well settled. Some of them are from Pakistan, some from other Asian countries, and they're often very settled, right? They're used to the culture. It's an upgrade. Dubai is a great place to be for nationals of certain countries in the region. But one of the biggest requests is, what about the children? They want an American citizenship, they want a Canadian citizenship. It takes years chasing those options, and they feel, and that's only one category. The second type of people are IT workers, skilled workers from Asian countries who have the talent. Most countries these days are opening up programs, right? They want these highly skilled professionals to not only earn for the big companies, provide skills and brains to the big companies, but they also want these people with their families to pay taxes to governments. So all the Western countries are coming up with several programs. France recently launched the talent passport scheme, and there's several, the names might be different, the terminologies might be different, but several Western nations are trying to copy the US and Canada in providing these skilled workers with options for relocation and eventually spend a decade or 5 years or 10 years, whatever it is, to then obtain that citizenship. By that time, you would have given your prime time to that Western nation in search for that citizenship and that passport. You would have paid tens of thousands of dollars in taxes. Now, historically, traditionally, or culturally, a lot of Asian countries ship their people, right? Families would have their children all target two countries in particular. One is the US, the second is Canada. Canada is almost like a second fiddle. If you can't make it to the US, then let's try for Canada, get the citizenship slightly sooner. Now, the problem is that it just takes a long time to get those countries. They're really far away from your home country in a lot of cases, and people don't know other options. There are other options. You can literally chase 2 or 3 valuable, important citizenships. You're not going to have the headache of citizenship-based taxation, the crime, just the whole ridiculous environment that you would have to subject yourself and your families to, right? You have children, you're going to put them in school, just thinking that these are the most powerful citizenship on planet Earth. That's absolutely wrong. US or Canada is not really the strongest citizenship in the world. I would rank Mexico and Mexican citizenship, and I'm going to discuss why this is super critical for people from the Gulf, right, who don't have a secondary citizenship. Maybe they come from Bangladesh or Pakistan or Nepal or any other country or China, and they don't have any backup. In today's complex world, one mistake and you don't want to be kicked out of Dubai because you don't have that second nationality. So you want to secure your bases from a citizenship perspective. And then second, you want to secure your bases for your children, your family, for your family's future. And that's where I feel the Mexican citizenship is the most powerful citizenship. If you compare this with US or Canada, Mexico is much, much higher in terms of strength when it comes to the strength of citizenship. Why is this higher as compared to US and Canada? I'm going to briefly explain that. And then I'm also going to explain how almost everyone watching this video can qualify for Mexican citizenship, right? Eventually, Mexican citizenship, it starts with a residency. Then you can get the citizenship for literally for next to free. So we'll discuss that as the second part of the video. If you look at the Mexican passport, right, it has access to Canada. So it has visa free for Canada already. So that's one important thing. Second, it has a TN, access to the US. So let's say you find a job in the US, you are thinking of doing an E2 by purchasing a Caribbean passport, or you were thinking of doing an H1, right? A ridiculous kind of a category where you have a ton of material to prove, headaches, uncertainties, and all of that kind of stuff. Now, easier than that, you have the Mexican TN access. Now, people know what TN is. Most people know what TN is. It's usually people think it's with Canada. Nope, that's not true. Yes, it is with Canada, but it is also available with Mexico. So you have that backdoor entry into the US, a much easier, straightforward entry with the TN access to the US. So that's the second advantage. The third advantage is, which is exclusive to this passport, not available on the Canadian or American. Very few countries have the APEC privileges, the full APEC member. Mexico is one. And when you apply for the APEC card online, it's a simple application. Assuming that you're a Mexican national, then you can apply. And once you do that, then you have business access. I'm not talking about visa free. Visa free really doesn't mean much. Here we're talking about valuable business or work access. Just like you have the TN to work in the US, with the APEC, you have business access to Australia, New Zealand, and 19 other very high profile countries that matter. So once you put everything together on the Mexican passport, you not only have visa free, you have business access and work access to strategic important countries. So once you get this citizenship, it's much stronger than any Canadian or any US, in my opinion. And when I'm saying all of this, this is no immigration advice. This is my personal analysis and educational content. Now, second part, how do you qualify for the Mexican residency, right? You start off with a residency and then you eventually get your citizenship after 5 years. First step really is the temporary. It does not matter if you have temporary or permanent. It's the same, right? When it comes to the time to wait for citizenship, you have to wait 5 years for that all-important Mexican passport. Now, once the three categories that are required in order to get the residency or start your clock or trigger this important residency, one category is that you're showing a modest bank balance of 55k USD. Let's say you have cash lying in your account. That's good enough to prove economic solvency. If you have that for a year, then you can qualify for the residency. Second category is a modest earning of 2,700, approximate figures, again, varies by consulates, but $2,700, and you can qualify for the same residency. The third option, let's say you don't have either of these two, or let's say you want to get a property in Mexico, and we have our attorneys that do all these categories, right, including the property purchase route. You diversify 375k USD in any property in Mexico. You can rent this place. You can do pretty much whatever you want. You can live there, and you can qualify for the residency. Once you get the residency, you start your clock, and then all you do is wait. There's no minimum physical presence required to maintain the temporary residency. After 4 years, you get a permanent. So let's say you don't want the citizenship right away, you can be a lifetime permanent resident without any residency on the ground. It's literally a too good to be true type of an option. And such options, the moment you talk more, and fortunately or unfortunately, I'm talking more about it, a lot of us do, because it is so good. But once it catches the spotlight, it goes, it closes. So a lot of these options have all closed around the world. The EU has closed most of their options. A lot of people keep thinking about the Mexican option, but never started, only to realize that one fine day it's gone. So if you are interested in getting the strongest citizenship in the world, then I would highly suggest that you look into it and think about this from a long-term perspective. Now, we have specialized attorneys all across Mexico, right, who do this. So depending upon where you want to get your benefit, we can get you started with this option. All you can do is click the link in the description, book a call with us. We can discuss this criteria in detail with you, and we can get you started with this or any other option of your choice. And Mexico is just one option. There's several other options which have flexible residency, which you can work yourself towards that citizenship in the end. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel, so the moment there is any new program, you don't miss out on any of those details. And catch you in the next one.